Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Mark, and I'm back to introduce you to another new design. This is what we're calling our old school street sign. I think you're going to really love it. It's got a classic look, just like if you went downtown in an old part of downtown and you would see something like from the movie It's a Wonderful Life, you would see a sign kind of like this. And I love all the options it comes with. First of all, for Christmas, we're including a wreath like this that you can hang right here. So that's going to be cool. We're also going to come back and give you some other elements as well, like something for Halloween and something for different events, including 4th of July, like maybe I have a flag that hangs here, all different items that can hang from the sign itself. And then these name parts can get pulled out and changed out for different ones from different seasons. They just pull out to the left and the right. You can paint them different colors. You can make them whatever color you want for an event or for a season. Put some different words on here. And then we've also got some little icons like the hearts and some other things that can go in the corners there as well to really give it a lot of customization from event to event or from season to season. I could even see these being used on wedding tables where you've got the bride and the groom's name or different things like that for the center of tables. This is really flexible. You're going to have a great time with it. Let's talk through the file itself, and then I'll give you a sped up version of me assembling it as well, so we make sure to answer all your questions. Let's jump into the file, and I'll show you how it works. All right, let's talk through the file. You're going to love this. It's not hard at all, and it looks fantastic. First of all, as always, let's read the text here. Black lines equal cut. Red lines equal score. Do not get those backwards or mixed up. You'll be very sad. So make sure you get that right. And then the slot size in the base is 0.217. 0.217. So here's what I recommend that you do. I recommend that you assemble the entire sign first, get it all glued up and all together, and then after you've painted it, I recommend that you then measure this tab right here, because then you're measuring it with the paint. Because if you don't do that, the paint's going to add some thickness and make it harder to do. And once you add that to your slot size, then you'll get the fit that you want. So I highly recommend that you wait on doing this until after you've measured this with the paint on it. Then adjust your slot size and then go ahead and cut them, okay? So let's walk through all the parts together. Oh, and by the way, I see I've got font on there. There's actually not any font on this particular screen here, but that's for the signs. We used a font called DIN Condensed Bold. You can use whatever you want, but we felt like a condensed font allowed us to fit longer words in there that made it a little easier. Use whatever you wish, but that's what we use, so we thought we'd let you know on that. So let me walk you through all the parts here. The centerpiece, of course, is the sign itself right here. And then we've got basically two of everything, because what we did was we've got this post down here, double on either side. So what you've got is you've got this main bottom piece right here, and it just simply glues on right like that. And then its matching partner here goes on the other side. And then you've got these three what we call hot dogs, because this definitely looks like a hot dog. And you're going to put that one right there, put the next one right below it, right here. And then the bottom one, I won't even bother flipping it over, but it goes right here. And then that leaves a tab sticking out on the bottom. And then you flip it over to the same thing. Don't forget the top piece. I believe it's called a corbel, I believe. Glues right up here. And then the back one obviously goes the same thing on the other side. And then you got your two bases. Let's jump over to the single version. It's exactly the same. It just simply doesn't have two signs. It only has one. Other than that, it goes together exactly the same. So I won't walk through that because it's pretty self-explanatory. Let's jump now to the signs themselves. Those are these pieces right here, or like this, that slide in and out of the rods there. And this is how this works. They've got little nubs right here, or you see the half circles right there, and those go on either side here, and then they slide down that channel that it creates, and that's how it stays in, okay? And you'll want to cut, if you're doing the two-sided sign like this, you'll want to cut 4 of these frames and 2 of the inside piece, and that's what you end up seeing here. And then you can, again, slide them in just like that. There's a place here in the oval you can put anything from an initial, like let's say for us, it's Mark Collier and Angie Wilkinson. You can put an M here if you want, an A there if you want. or you can put a heart. We've got several icons that we've included that you can use, that you can put there. And we're going to come out with several more in the weeks and months to come to just continue to add value to this set. But that's what that is for. And that's how they go together. Now, there's one thing that I want to help draw your attention to, and it can mess you up. It's simple, but I'll show you how it works. I'll jump over to the sample text here, and we've got a couple sets of text that you could use for things like Halloween or Christmas or something romantic like Valentine's Day or St. Patrick's Day, things like that. So we've got Tombstone Drive or Cemetery Boulevard. And here's what I want to show you. I'm going to grab these here. I'm going to copy them, and then I'm going to take them over to our street sign. I'll show you what I want you to pay attention to. So if you've got these here, let's say we're going to do them right here. So there's Tombstone Drive and then Cemetery Boulevard. You want these to be opposite each other, right? So you want them to be like this. And let's say I've got these two pieces here. You want them to be like this, right? Tombstone and Cemetery. What you don't want to do is you don't want to put Cemetery down here, because then what will happen is you'll end up having two that go like this. So pay attention to that. It's easy to get lost in that if you're not paying attention to where you put them. And then if you want to also put words on the other side, if it's like a wedding table with some family names on there, that's great, like that, for example. But what you don't want to do is don't put your text on there and then flip it like this and put it in again, because that'll make it upside down. Make sure you flip it like this, okay? So just pay attention to that. And another key is that when you cut out the words, they come out with, when you cut from here, it comes out with a piece like this. You can use this and put it right back in there and use it as an easy way to place your text in there when you glue them in there, or if you use 3M. So you can use the piece that's right there on the screen. I just pointed at the screen like you can see that. But that's one easy way to get your text to work out and to make it easy to glue on there. All right. So let's jump to the last thing, which is the wreath. And this one's really straightforward. Sorry, I was doing something earlier. Let me back up here. This is really straightforward, but this is how it works. You take this back silhouette of the bow, paint that however you want, glue this one on here, glue this one on here. Then the knot in the middle goes right like this. Make sure you have it oriented right. It's easy to have it turned 90 degrees to the side. That won't work quite right. And then this piece here goes on the back of the bow like this. So I'll show you the back of this unpainted one here. It goes right on the back, right here on the back of the bow, between the bow and the wreath. And when you take this whole bow with that back, what I call a spacer, let me move these guys for a minute. If you have the bow there with the spacer on the back, you're then going to glue it onto the wreath there. And what that does is that creates a space between the bow and the wreath that you can then take these little hangers here. And when you hang it on the sign, there's going to be space here for the hook to grab the wreath so it can hang just like that. All right. It'll make sense when you put it together, but make sure you put it together that way with that spacer on the back of the bow. And then you can take the Merry Christmas and you could glue that pretty much wherever you want. On this one, I pushed it just a little bit under the ends of the ribbon there. And I like that look, but you can do whatever you want on that. And then this, of course, then can hang right here for the Christmas season. So I think you're really going to dig that. This is a lot of fun. Jump over to the next part of the video here and you can see me assembling it real quick and gluing it together. I think if you don't have it now, that the rest of the video will make it really easy on you. So let's jump to that section now. So here's all the pieces. I'll show you how they go together. You start with the sign pieces and you glue a frame on either side of it, just like this. And then when it gets done, it looks just like this one. I'll use this one for the rest of this example so I don't have to hold them together. Then you take the base pieces and you glue them together just like this. They have a total of 3 layers, the back post, the one right above it, and then the 3 little, what we call hot dogs that glue on there. So I'll glue those on there real quick. And then after the glue sets there, we're going to flip it over and do the same thing on the other side for the other base pieces. Then there's also the top piece that goes on the top of the post. You'll glue that on. And then we'll flip the whole thing over and do it again. Base piece, followed by the top piece, followed by the hot dogs. And it has a tab at the bottom that's left there that can go into the bases. Here are the two bases. Make sure that you've measured your material and adjusted the slot first before you do this to make sure it fits. And it goes in the base just like that. Now I want to show you how the wreath goes on. There's these little pieces that I've invented here that hang right under the wreath in whatever place you want pretty much. It has a spacer behind the bow that gives you space for that to hang. And you can hang them right here on the post. And then you need to push it in just a little bit. It's going to bend back just a little bit and get caught behind the wreath leaves. And it hangs just like that.